The economic situation in European countries is becoming increasingly tense. Of course, there are still bravura speeches about punishing Russia, preventing its victory, and other spirit-raising slogans. But the harsh truth of life forces both politicians and ordinary Europeans to realize that something has gone wrong. Farmers' protests continue to take over more and more countries. Now, Spanish and Italian farmers have taken to the protest stage. Italian farmers in general accused the authorities of genocide of agricultural producers. It is now easier to find countries in Europe where farmers have not gone on mass protests. British farmers also do not stay away from the protest movement for their existence. They banally cannot stand competition with producers from Europe. But that's not all the problems. The British economy as a whole, following Germany and Eastern Europe, is slipping into recession. Britain has fallen into a technical recession. Official figures show that the economy has shrunk. The UK recession has dealt a fresh blow to the economic promises of Prime Minister Rishi Sunak, who made economic development one of his key promises when he took office in October 2022. In the UK, too, consumer demand has fallen due to accelerating inflation and falling real incomes. Meanwhile, to combat rising prices, the Bank of England has set high interest rates, which has also been a trigger for recession. Already 3 countries from the once great G7 have fallen into recession: Germany, Japan, Britain. The reasons are different for each country, but there is one thing in common. The US creates the conditions for the flow of investment and production from satellite countries to its territory. When the countries of the Great South and East leave the influence of the West, the US has nothing left but to milk its supposed allies, but in fact vassals. The US has been very successful in shifting oil and gas supplies to itself. They have become the world's largest producers not only of oil but also of gas. The US accounts for 24% of the world's gas production. The European economy has fewer and fewer chances to revive its former power and prosperity. High dependence on China makes European countries highly vulnerable to a US-China scramble for world domination. The prospect of Russian asset seizures could put an end to the euro as a reserve currency. It is not excluded that the French economy will be able to take a leading position in the EU. Nuclear power with its cheap electricity is being actively developed there, and this could be a key success factor. The logic of changes in the economy is not on the side of Germany. The GDP of the Bundesrepublik has not only been shrinking for more than a year, but also Paris is increasingly stepping on Berlin's heels. The French economy has been growing twice as fast as the German economy, and, according to IMF forecasts, will continue to catch up over the next 5 years. The Fifth Republic's goal is voiced bluntly by Economy Minister Bruno Le Maire, to squeeze past the Germans and become the first in Europe. But the problem for Europe is that France will not be able to become the industrial locomotive of Europe, which means that the industrial degradation of the European economy will continue.